We've seen a lot of AD carries focused with the bans, and occasionally we've seen a lot of supports focused with the bans.
Exactly right. Brom, Bardo, Poppy, Gragas, and Trundle being taken away. So 4 out of 5 of them can be flex picked in that support role. And Dumbledoge, he's known for his Bardo and his Poppy to boot. So really focusing him out in this one.
He's just going to play Elise, right?
it's potential.
Everything's going to be fine.
The Echo will be the final ban, and a smart ban, especially considering how Thaldron played it. So they've got that first pick. The Alistair is available. The Graves is available.
So I'd be thinking Thresh, though, if they were going to go the support route. If they're going to go the jungle route, definitely Graves. Top lane, probably Maokai as another option. They've still got a lot of things there. You wouldn't want to early pick the Azir, but you have to remember that Naru would be looking towards that.
Sure.
Varus is always going to be a defined beating factor to that, however.
A lot of very powerful tank bans being banned away here, but it looks like Supermassive will be picking up that Maokai to drop into the hands of Thaldron. He's going to be feeling good. Maokai, kind of the staple top laner at the moment, a very formidable tank, gets health back based on spells used, you know, all that good stuff. So INTZ, they've got 2 picks to answer with, and still a lot of Kalista Alley is still available.
Yeah, Kalista, you know, it's still definitely a thing that could be there. The Sivir as well. Rise, also another factor. There are still a lot of champions, and that's because we've gone through mostly target bans.
Well, there we go. The Alistair and Sivir picked up on your screen. Sivir press R to win. Alistair kind of does the same thing. So they've already locked in their bot lane. A very strong bot lane at that. We see the Elise hover. Dumbledore.
It is a flex for what it's worth.
Yeah, it's true.
If they pick it for the jungler, they could just decide that it's better suited to the support role. You never know.
Could they decide, or could Dumbledore decide?
Well, yeah, look, they are still the embodiment of Dumbledore as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. So they've got about 30 seconds left on that clock. Wouldn't be surprised to see the Azir. And there it is in the hands of Naru. You mentioned that Varus is still available for that counter. The Elise also being locked in. And not many teams we can say that's a flex pick Elise for.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's a very unique thing. Of course, I'm always going to say predictable draft out of Supermassive.
Sure.
In fact, I think I said all 3 of them during the first pick as an option for them.
Indeed,
so
you did, Rusty.
There's definitely answers, however, from INTZ. And the question is where they're going to go towards. Can Tockers play the Varus, or does he want to be the Zed that he so fondly plays and knows works?
We've seen some LeBlancs as also an answer to that Azir in the mid lane. The Zed hover is there. Lee Sin, don't think we've seen him all tournament long, so wouldn't be surprised to see them change at the last second. Kassadin, after last game I have my doubts.
Hey now. It's okay, just not do Azir. I wouldn't do it.
Sure. Looks like the Nidalee and the Nautilus will be locked in there. So Nidalee in the jungle again for Revolta. We mentioned earlier on in the pre-game that he is one of the junglers here to have success on that champion. Nautilus just likes to face tank here.
Yeah, it's going to be a big tank in the top lane. They've got a lot of... They are effectively running a Sivir composition where Sivir presses her R button and then everybody runs fast at them, forward only.
Well, Dumbledore is going to be feeling good about that last lock in. The Kindred means that she'll be in the jungle while Elise will be down on that support role. Archu also getting himself the Lucian, who has been kind of like the middle of the pack ADC, but when these players can make him shine, oh boy does he shine.
Absolutely. Low range, so high risk but high reward if you can hit all of your damage onto the right targets. You're very good at surviving against tanks. There's a lot of options available to Supermassive here with that Elise support once again. Still feels so poor to me as a champion pick, but if it's what you're comfortable on and it's something that works for your team, then by all means.
More power to your Dumbledore, and if Joxus locks in this Varus, that will answer the question whether or not Tockers plays it. So
could be Zed, could be Varus.
Yeah, so we've got 5 seconds left on the clock, plenty of time to switch it up.
Yeah, nice.
There it is. It's going to be the Varus locked in for Tockers in that mid lane. So that seems to be the go-to pick when versing Azir. Is the Varus?
It is, because you can outrange the Azir with all of your spells as well. There's no way for him to poke you, and if he does poke you, it's because you're in range to engage on him regardless. And this is actually a very different strategy from Tockers.
Okay.
He's running the teleport on his Varus. Now, he doesn't need cleanse or anything really, because the jungler is a Kindred.
Yep.
but I expected something more along the lines of either an exhaust or a barrier to keep himself alive. Teleport is an effective health tool, especially for laning phase, because if you get poked out, you just recall, teleport back in, right? Like you're back at full health. So in that respect, it's a health and it's a defensive summoner spell, but it's not going to help you in the moment if you die.
That's exactly right. And it does also help out a lot of these tier building champions want to get a tier ASAP, get back to lane and start stacking that. So could potentially see him with a little bit of an early recall, but of course we won't know for sure what summoner spell he's picked until the game loads up. There's still 30 seconds left on that champ select for him to change the heal or the barrier should he feel the need.
Yeah, so once again, INTZ's team composition was sculpted in a way that would cater to what SuperMassive had on offer. They looked to counter where possible. They've got the Alistar Sivir as well. I feel like that'll be perfectly fine as a bottom lane duo. They've got the Varus into the Azir. That's always going to be very handy. And then it's just a tank off in the top lane. So everything they could want for INTZ is there. And remember, this is a must-win for the Brazilian region.
You mentioned it was a very predictable pick coming out of SuperMassive, playing a lot of comfort champions here. Naru on that Azir. Dumbledoge once again on the Elise, which we can't seem to figure out exactly why it's so good, but he obviously knows something we don't. And
I don't want to rain on the parade of Dumbledoge, right? Like, it won. And I think it's good for them. I just don't think that it's good. Like, again, what does an Elise provide that doesn't just help herself or do damage besides the cocoon, right?
Well, you're exactly right here as we are coming into perhaps INTZ's most important game of the entire tournament. To win this, they've secured themselves that 4th spot. Lose, and they still have another one to back it up. But SuperMassive, they've been playing phenomenally all tournament long. Expect to see them putting up a very big fight.
Absolutely. All on the line for INTZ, to an extent anyway. I just want to pick it up. They'll play this game very seriously. I have no doubt in my mind. Turkey v Brazil. All over again.
Looks like we see everyone just running a standard fan out here, trying to, again, no deep vision, so completely guessing at what lanes the duos are going to run. Looks like we will be seeing the Australian laner, Sivir and Lucian, both make their way up to that top side of the map.
Yeah, and SuperMassive are about to spot them, actually, from the looks of it. I don't think that ward did, but you guys need to stop pinging, all right? Calm down. Hey.
You've issued too many pings at this time. Please wait.
They know where they are, right? Like, they're just pinging their wards. Like, use your words, man. Save us the trouble. This is Varus actually trying to snipe from the looks of it with a Q in the bush. I hope that they show that. Yeah, he got 2 of them.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, you can see.
A little sneaky, sneaky. Got to get every advantage you are warranted to. Mikau,
2 of the Raptors.
starting that W, or going to be pushing that one out. Revolta, though, starts the Wolf Camp. Don't think I've said that all tournament long.
Yeah, it's a bit different. But of course, when you do the lane swap, I think it's actually pretty cool to get that down.
Okay, cool.
It gets vision as well, so you don't need to place wards. You've got wards early as well to get that early vision in case they're invading and placing vision themselves. I said vision way too many times just then. Hectic.
Oh, there goes the Pulverize, proccing that Thunderlord's Decree.
Tell me, what does this Elise do?
She
you want, like,
soaks damage, Rusty.
So, yeah, you need to have your W, you need to have your Q, and you need to, most importantly, have your Cocoon available if you want to trade with people. But if you walk next to an Alistar and you do not repel the Pulverize, you're going to die. Because Elise is a very squishy champion. She's a spider for a reason.
And what best defeats a spider? But a big boot.
Yeah.
Pulverize will have the exact same effect on that one. Blocking the spell shield there. The Cocoon comes through. There we go. Mikau takes a bit of damage. And that's what happens when you use a spell shield on the spider, especially against a level 2 Elise.
It is free mana if you get the spell shield off,
right.
But it was blocked by Jockster, so I'm not too...
Another nice Pulverize. The W will be there. The Ignite comes down, but Revolta's here. Flash out of Mikau. They are going to walk away from this one, but Revolta showing very early presence on this Nidalee.
Absolutely. He was here very quickly, but that comes again to his jungle clear pace because 3 minutes in the game he's done near a full clear besides the double golems. I think actually he left the Raptors. It's just a swirly thingy. The Storm-Aged.
Here's Marco the Kindred getting a bit bullied by this blue buff. He should have no trouble kiting it around, getting the heal off his W passive.
I still think Mark of the Kindred's boring. I like swirly thing.
Swirly thing?
Yeah.
We going with that now?
No, you can't go with that. You have to say what the names is so people get confused.
No worries, Rusty. See, in the mid lane, a big wave building up. Shouldn't be an issue for Varus to take that one with a fully charged Q.
So the cool thing about Elise, by the way, is you can kind of mask animations. Your W looks very similar to your Cocoon.
Yeah.
You can bait a spell shield.
Oh, the flash comes in. The
Oh, no.
spear goes wide. Archie might be in a little bit of trouble. The flash comes through from the Nidalee. The boomerang blade does hit. That's going to be first blood going over to Nidalee as we see a nice little freeze frame on your screen. Then the a prediction of a future game, maybe.
Yeah, 1-for-1 trade teleports cancelled. Everything okay on the Rift. The end.
I know about a 1-for-1.
We all live not happily after.
No way an INTZ member died there. They were getting.
Oh, did I say 1-for-1?
Yeah, they were getting. That was a 1-for-0. That was a Nidalee
Yeah,
first
sorry.
one.
That's nice. That's
Well,
what I
they got
meant.
to be feeling good about that. The big spear did miss, so it did cost 2 flashes in the end, but definitely worth. Always that first blood gold, especially in a jungler like Revolta, who likes to go and make plays, likes to get ahead, use that Nidalee for all she's worth.
And it was always in that lane as well. They try and actually get Macau and Jox to going one more time. And this is a weird thing, because every time they try and get this bottom lane ahead, I'm yet to genuinely see Macau put in the extra work that I know that Yang is capable of doing. But because they're just 2 tanks in the top lane, he has no choice. The meta of the IWCI right now is get that bottom lane going, actually get them snowballing and use them to get the rest of the map moving.
Well, it goes back to what you say. What can an Elise do when that happens? Nothing. She just sits there and watches as her ADC painfully gets CC'd and destroyed.
It's a pretty simple flowchart. Is Cocoon available? The answer is yes, throw it. The answer is no, run away.
Looks like the lane swaps will be in full effect now, as the AD carry and support for both teams are on opposite sides of the map.
To be fair, Alistar's similar in that respect. It's like, is the headbutt pulverized there?
Sure.
The answer
He's
is
got a
no,
heal,
then
though.
you're pretty useless. You stand around and stomp your feet. That's just kind of the nature of the cooldowns that they both possess. And for what it's worth, Elise is reasonably similar in that respect.
Yep.
To the Alistar's headbutt pulverized cooldowns. And you'll always have Cocoon available.
It looks like the jungler of INTZ will be down there to help kill the tower, especially he's got that Rift Herald buff, so maybe SuperMassive being caught sleeping here. No one in route. The Maokai is close, but the damage has already been done. The tower's half health.
Yeah, it's actually a really cool movement out of INTZ here.
Another wave of minions going to be getting full value out of that Rift Herald buff. Storm Mage only just arriving. The tower still sitting pretty on 75% health. It should go down, but nowhere near in time.
Yeah, so just remember that after that kill they got in the top lane, they went immediately to the Rift Herald and then recalled, which was a very different strategy. But they actually had that in place for quite some time. And the idea was to get the bottom lane turret as
No cleanse.
mid lane.
Naru cleanses that one out. The flash not going to be enough as Naru flashes in response. So great timing by him to avoid what could have been a lethal gank as Lucian gets the tower in the top lane.
Yeah, not too bad here from Nara. Actually, well executed, but probably a little bit out of position regardless. Tokka's,
Sure.
of course, hitting that ult. It did switch to heal.
Oh, cool. Cool. Didn't take teleport in the end. Mikau's going to have an easy time just farming up a storm against this Maokai. Should be able to spell shield any twisted advance aggression here.
Yeah. The big threat to me, once again, is in this middle lane now that the summoners have been burnt. Needs to show respect. Actually be careful. Revolta moving around the map really efficiently right now. Getting everything done.
Looks like he will be taking this blue buff for himself. No, he's just going to be waiting. Varus has no trouble sniping that one.
Varus, hurry up and clear that wave.
Oh, no. Revolta's taken, man. You've earned it.
Oh my god. I am so sad for Revolta. You know how much health that he's missing because of that alone?
Yeah, he's got the Hunter's Potion. He'll be right.
Disappointment. That's what that is.
Yeah, Naru going to have a free time to just push up that wave. That extra time cost both of those players a lot here. 4 members in the bot lane for SuperMassive, maybe looking to make something happen here. 1,000 gold lead, of course, for INTZ.
There is still the Sivir and Alistar available, though. They're trying to defend it as
Italy's on the way
opposed to
down.
actually trading. And it works.
Yeah, it looks like they will just be recalling after spending a lot of resources time-wise, getting 4 members to coordinate at that bot lane. Not too much going on, just leaving the AD carry and support to lane off against each other once again. Looks like Nautilus pushing up the minions to that top tower. Tokkers, though, trying to get as much poke as he can. He's got that tier. It's already started stacking. Got himself the corrupting potion to keep himself, sustained up and whatnot. Yeah, not too much besides that first blood happening since.
There's still a decent advantage, though, for INTZ through the top side of the map. You have to remember, 20 CS for Yang and a slight edge for Revolta, as well as that kill puts him pretty far ahead, especially with that Runic Echo is about a camp or two away. And he is level 7, so doing well. Pretty much across the board, they can still teleport or influence the rest of the map, and that's what you're expecting to see, honestly, at this point in the game. It's for Revolta and Yang to help Mikau and Jockster once again with a flash alley engage.
And keep in mind that neither of these mid laners have teleport, so we won't be seeing that all of a sudden 5 bot that we're so used to seeing in these double teleport games. So we'll only be 4 players bot should they
what a shame.
pull the trigger on that one. I'm sure the players in the bot lane are happy with that. The tower is down for Archie, remember, so should they get any wards deep behind, he's got a long way to run before he's safe.
Yeah, and there's no wards deep, but what there is a Dumbledore trying to flank, so just randomly avoid themselves as the second jungler of the team makes his way back bottom.
Stormage is close by, just taking out the Krugs, maybe looking to make a play, but he does spot Revolta out on that pink cord, knowing that he is nearby in the bottom side river. Thaldrin just doing what Maokai does, throw a few saplings, take a few raptors, head back up to top lane.
Yeah, and once again the pace of the game just slows down a little bit further.
Yeah, Zia's flash is still on cooldown. Cleanse is available. Stormage, though, he wants to get himself this dragon.
He's in vision.
The dragon's in vision.
His health bar isn't, however. They may not have seen it because they can't see him.
Ah.
Only the dragon hitting him angrily.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, that depends, because that's not going to kind of... we see Archie, though. He's taking a lot of damage from a headbutt pulverize.
Oh!
Oh! By the skin of his teeth, gets that dragon.
Yeah, way too close. These two, however,
looking like they want to make a play here. Dumbledore might be in a lot of trouble. There's Revolta in the back, gets down the red smite. The red buff is applied.
Oh.
There is the flash. It doesn't matter as Archie goes down now. Where is Dumbledore? He's on the run, but Tokkers making his way down. This should be an easy kill for the Spider. To kill the Spider, sorry.
You would think so, and we'll see where he ends up because, on a magical journey, thinking he is Bard, about to walk into someone.
Oh,
and
no.
Yeah, we're going deep.
Yeah,
and Duke. And now Duke again. He's got an ultimate. Duke it.
And one more should do it. Oh, no. There is a Zir. He might have been caught out of position because Revolta's there. Also, Naru going to be knocked up by the ulti. Hits by the chain of corruption.
It's happened again, Tokkers. Come on.
Not going to miss. Getting a little bit greedy with that one. But now Naru is in a world of hurt. Deja vu. He feels like Dumbledore's right now. There's the snipe to finish him off. So, SuperMassive actually being caught a little bit off guard here.
Yeah, completely out of position. Yeah. Mikau and Jockster are able to burst out the 2v2 in the bottom lane. And that entire fight progresses naturally from that situation. And SuperMassive definitely showing signs of struggle already at this point in the game. And this is the impact that a Nidalee can have, firstly, if left uncontested. And if you can actually get ahead in a game.
Yeah, Revolta has been in the right place at the right time, getting 2 nice kills for himself onto the AD carry. And then we saw Elise. She went on a wild journey. Azir comes over to help her. They both end up dying. It's a very common mistake. Got to cut your losses. Got to let your sink cost be sunk. The last thing you want to do is invest more into a failed play. So already, INTZ with about a 2,000 gold lead, 1.5 to be exact. 4 kills in the lead. A tower apiece for both teams, but the sneaky dragon for Stormaged paying off a little bit.
Yeah, and a mark. Things are going okay for SuperMassive at best. I think is the best way to describe this one. Of course, the Turkish team have got themselves a decent scaling composition. They've still got that tanky front line. And once they start breaking objectives, I think you'll find that they'll be perfectly okay.
Revolta?
Except that they are dying naturally, as I say that.
Revolta once again showing this dominating presence. And we see a Maokai Kindred lane in the top. Shouldn't have a lot of trouble. That is the INTZ lane taking this tower. Should go down without too much of a fuss as Revolta was making his way over just in case. Back to the mid lane now, as it just seems that SuperMassive has no one playing the map.
They have no answer, honestly. The top lane, there's nothing Maokai can do to this pressure. There's no way Stormage is able to be involved. And they've got Archu alone against the Nautilus. And so he's not going to be able to push anything down either. And they're just imploding on themselves here, this Turkish team.
All right, Tokas has a chance to redeem himself.
Yeah, you better get that with 1Q.
We'll never know.
I think it's better that way.
Ooh, misclick on the minion maybe. Wanted to just get in range of it, but not going to be enough. Oh, the Tendrils of Corruption comes out. Will be instantly cleansed by Naru, though.
This is why Varus is picked into Azir. Like, I am very confused in the first place as to why Naru early rotation locked in the Azir. It just doesn't make a whole host of sense to me. Like, sure, INTZ are on red side regardless, but committing to that pick and knowing that the Varus is available generally is not the right idea. Sure, it hasn't been working out at this tournament, but this is what happens when it does.
Oh, there's the engage. Huge amount of damage to Lamb's Respite. Going to be the only thing to keep them alive. They lose a tower for their troubles, though.
It's
and
not
the pushes
end.
are done yet.
No way. They've got a Varus and a Nidalee. They can sustain, but they need to poke them out. So just keep your eyes on the spears, keep your eyes on Tokas with these Qs, even Siva with the boomerangs. They're able to cause an impact from every single angle. And this is the siege composition. Their tanks here as well. They're set up perfectly.
Oh, Revolta took the blue side blue as well, so infinite mana pull and double doge. What are you doing? Just taking a huge chunk of damage out of this one. The tower getting lower and lower as all 5 members of INTZ have grouped up around this mid lane. SuperMassive have nothing to answer with. Thaldrin does get caught, goes in with the twisted advance. I don't know if I agree with that one, buddy. He's going to get taken down, but not after getting one onto Jocksters.
Yeah, so they do trade, but it's a support for the tank in the top lane. Never mind, that's the double.
Assassinata double with a beautiful Q snipe.
Welcome to Varus and Nidalee.
I didn't think he was going for him. I think he was going for the Lucian that was killing the Warden. It just so happened.
They pinged him.
Beautiful, beautiful coordination.
Remember, Blue Trinket from Varus was used not too long before it.
Yeah, but it was he behind the wall? Was at least didn't think they saw him go in. Never mind that. They still got the kill regardless. Dragon spawning in about 50 seconds. They should be able to get this one completely fine. They're 7,000 gold ahead. They're getting the Rift Herald. 4 towers to 1. 6 kills to 1. At 15 minutes in the game, 16 minutes, with
Tokas is trolling.
7,000 gold in the lead. I don't know how I feel about this one, Rusty.
He's 4-0 and he can't even get blue buffs.
The culling going to be enough to prevent Mikau from extending a little bit further. No one is there, though, to back up Archu, so he's by himself. He can see the rotation, but Dumbledore's in the jungle doing jungle things.
It was just the AD carry battle, however, and this is the weakness of Elise, because I honestly still don't know what it does.
Well, right now, nothing.
I still think it did nothing in their victory besides be a distraction. But once again, INTZ, with the team composition that they have secured, have found a point of power with it as well. Oh, yeah. Especially once the Rylat's Crystal Scepter is done for Revolta, because that means the Tokas can just chill out, wait for a spear to connect, and then throw out the Q afterwards and just double the damage up. And that would be honestly close to instantly killing someone.
An insane amount of damage potential for this team that INTZ had picked themselves up. We see Stormage is going to be getting his own red buff here too early in the game to be donating that one to his carry. Dragon has spawned. Revolta and Mikau the first ones to act. Doesn't look like anyone from the side of SuperMassive, even though they have vision, will be going for it.
We've got a Kindred who's looking for a cheeky steal, but he's not going to get there in time.
And realistically, I guess he can jump in, ult, maybe kill the dragon. Does the ult affect minions? Kindred ult?
Yeah, it affects
so dragon
everything.
Won't die?
Yeah.
Okay.
It affects everything.
Interesting.
Barons as well. It can stay golden. You can have a golden purple one, which makes no sense.
Oh, he's
dead.
He's dead. The flash from Revolta, not going to be there. It doesn't matter, though. Once the Q connected with the finished Crystal Scepter, as you mentioned.
And honestly, like, this is past the point of repair.
Yeah. The flash from Jox is going to be coming through. The ult not going to do as much damage because it missed. Miko makes his way in. The Q comes through. Just it's looking very hard for them to step out of their base. Look at the damage from the Varus Q.
And that's what I mean. I say this is past the point of repair, and that's because there is nothing that this SuperMassive side can do to contest the team composition that INTZ have put together when it's got a lead, because they have a support Elise. and nothing to back them up for engage.
Looks like the flank from Maokai might be there. The spear's connecting from the Azir.
Naru has to go off.
Beautiful exhaust. He couldn't get in range to get the W. Look at Tokas. He is just sniping people left, right, and center.
Just play the game slow. Play the wave clear poke game, then siege objectives whenever they're low on health values. Tokas should probably show a bit of respect now and peace out, but yeah.
Now that the Alistar has initiated his recall, Tokas will follow. Baron coming up in about 45 seconds. Don't think we'll be seeing that one for a while. 28,000 gold to 36,000 in the pockets of INTZ. It's all on the right members, the Nidalee and the Varus, the two main damage dealers on this squad, and they have all the gold.
Yeah, and the Sivir doesn't need the gold either because it's just the R button as well.
Yep.
Ahead or behind, still going to be relevant, as is Nautilus in that respect. And this is just like, it's all stemmed from Revolta being much more aggressive. Getting the early game in their favor, actually making things happen for his team. If SuperMassive have any chance of getting back in this game, you need a godlike fight from Naru.
You were very confident that Nidalee was the strongest jungler at this tournament. I can see why in the right hands. Revolta just making it look disgusting. He hit one spear on Archu. Nothing he can do. Run behind his tower, flashes, dashes. It doesn't matter. Once the Rylai's has been built, the spear, the pounce, the swipe, you name it.
And as if he sneezed, he was dead that quickly. Bless you.
Looks like they will just be clearing out that ward. Naru, the last remaining bastion of hope for this squad of SuperMassive. He needs to get himself that Crystal Scepter in order to do anything in these fights, because otherwise they're just going to run straight at him, and the soldiers, once they're in the back line, they ain't coming back if that Q's on cooldown, buddy.
Yeah, it's going to be a very difficult execution here from SuperMassive, but they need to be flawless, and even then,
some, man.
They still run the risk of losing the fight. But they are looking towards this bottom lane. You can see the way that they're setting themselves up now. Sivir being down there in particular. With Baron available, though, could be considered a mistake. I don't think it's too big of one, however.
If Kindred had the Devourer, maybe, but it's still not sated just yet. So once we get a look at how many stacks she's on, we'll get a good idea of how far away she is from completing that item.
And still good awareness from SuperMassive of when to be on the map, though.
Yep.
It's just that actually making it work for them. Another story entirely.
Looks like Tokas, he's got himself that blue buff, so he wants to siege now. That mana regen is his best friend, considering he's also got himself the Muramana. Bit of cooldown here. Finished the Maw of Malmortis as well. So he's not too worried about Azir getting in his face anymore.
No, word on the street is they're fed. INTZ are pretty big.
Yeah, they are looking nigh unstoppable right now. When your jungler is the highest level in the game, you're kind of in a rut. You're in the sand trap right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my lord,
like every single time you see an arrow connect or you see a spear connect, that is probably a third of their health, if not more, that starts to go missing.
Saldren.
SuperMassive have no choice but to straight up engage. If they don't engage, they lose.
I don't see how the engage could even help them at this stage. But they got to try something. They can't just sit here and let the poke commence. The tower is not high enough health that you can engage under it. One auto from the Varus combined with Sivir will take it down. So
Yang's not going to stop, though. So if they don't engage, they're still going to lose.
They've sent Thaldren over there to deal with him, but it's too late. He's already got the top inner tower, the inhibitor one, the only thing that spawns. They've lost their entire outer defense line. 3 inhibitor towers, 2 Nexus towers rather. 9,000 gold in the lead are INTZ. They're looking very, very strong.
Slow and steady wins the race. Revolta doesn't have a whole lot of mana, but the tower is
low.
low.
Tower, one more auto should do it. It is going to be destroyed. The Kindred ulti is down, looking for its next victim. Kindred should fall. Naru doing a good job of keeping members from getting in. Kindred stayed alive despite that. There is the flash twisted advance coming in. Dumbledore doing what he can, but he's in the lease with nowhere to go. Archu is going to have to flash out of that one. Return aggression is there. Naru's going to get taken down. The Emperor's Divide buying time at best. The inhibitor should fall. That is going to be 2 members for 0. Nidalee is so she's not going to have the capabilities to heal everyone up.
Yeah, everybody low from the side of SuperMassive. It will be the inhibitor. I don't think it'll be much more just yet.
The mid-wave, it's huge.
Yeah. And the map's just completely blown out of proportion here for SuperMassive to deal with. The Brazilian team They are looking unstoppable.
Oh, Dumbledore might be caught. He's going to have to use the repel. Gets himself away from any further damage to Cocoon, finally hitting a reasonable target. But at what point do these guys just think, maybe we shouldn't have picked Elise?
Apparently not all the time either.
Apparently never. Dragon is
their
up.
own, man.
We see a teleport coming in, though, for Thaldrin.
Yeah, he's got a big flank onto Siva.
I don't think it matters, though. I don't think he's strong enough to kill her, especially with Yang running point. They're just going to get out of this one.
You take that back. The big tank man's got this.
On the hunt has been popped. Yang getting that extra movement speed. He's out of there.
Yeah, he didn't have it. Yeah. He's still a Maokai with no damage. Very behind. INTZ is still making it work for them, and Thaldrin's way out.
Thaldrin has been caught out of position. There is Revolta as well to just continuously throw spears in. Tokkers gets himself that one. There is a chain of corruption. Naru gets knocked up, gets killed. He's out. Stormage now the next victim of this fight. Another kill going over to Revolta, and this could be game here, Rusty.
Honestly, that's just the way it's going to be for SuperMassive. They decide the desperation fight is the way to go. But no, the Brazilian team need to secure the objectives and play it out as safe as possible. Of course, they still need to reset top lane, so this is the natural progression towards that lane anyway, is the Baron buff.
Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if INTZ win this, they secure themselves that 4th place, that top 4 to go into the semi-finals. So you can tell that they mean business coming into this game. They've been playing like a completely revitalized squad. 2 inhibitors down for SuperMassive. Baron picked up 12 kills to 1. They are looking like a completely different team at this stage.
Yeah, well, they worked it out, I guess, after yesterday. Go home, talk to their psychologists and analysts and coaches. Work out what the issues may well be. Maybe it was drafting, because this is a very solid draft from INTZ. They're looking a lot more solid, though, as a roster, and Revolta was moving around the map effectively early. Even James Bond in the top lane has been doing his job.
Yeah, you're exactly right. 007 on that Nautilus. 505 on the Nidalee. She's got herself another needlessly large rod going for that damage-oriented build. In the mid, Varus, he's got himself that Ghostblade. The Maramune has been completed.
Oh, you said it backwards.
Yeah, I know. This game is going backwards. This should have been, by all intents and purposes, SuperMassive should have stomped this game, right? Their pick and ban, while shaky, we know that they can make it work, but this is not at all how I predicted this game to turn out.
Yeah, pretty much. This is going to be the 3rd inhibitor sooner or later, you would imagine.
We've seen this song and dance in the bot lane just before, so we know how this story ends. It ends with Dumbledore getting half hit by a fully charged Q.
Elise is a very squishy champion, so playing her in a role where she gets no resources and building magic resistance as your first item away from the Nidalee means that the Varus is going to be doing a lot of damage. But that is to be expected, and here's the push you would think.
Yeah, there's nothing they can do to stop this. Dumbledore just trying to go for cocoons. Hitting the Nautilus, not the target, of course. Chain of Corruption goes out, does whiff. Not going to need it, though, in the grand scheme of things. As 3 inhibitors down, super minions, Baron minions coming in the base. Thaldrin gets popped without a second's notice. The first tower goes down, the second one sure to follow, and that's going to be INTZ Gaming, taking out SuperMassive, securing their spot in the top 4. They must be feeling ecstatic after that win.
And a clean-cut 27-minute victory with only 1 death on the board for the support. That is the ideal victory for INTZ. Not only do they secure their place, they do a lot more than that. They actually make it work for them brilliantly.
Look, just from that game alone, I feel like they've cemented themselves as a reasonable threat to these top 3 teams, who we were saying before looked nigh untouchable, but INTZ showing that the gods can still bleed.
Yeah, absolutely. SuperMassive, they have actually shown a lot of signs of struggle. They're a very strong roster, but I do still feel like it comes back to the fact that when they're behind early, they really don't know where to go with the rest of the game. They're a type of team that defaults to fighting, and you can't always fight when you're behind in gold.
Yeah, that's why when Revolta got so far ahead, he was just able to snowball every single advantage they let him have, and we know that INTZ, just judging on their on the games that they've won, were absolute stomps. They're looking like a completely different squad when they're ahead. They know how to play that game, so hopefully they've fixed up their issues early game, know how to get that lead, and then know how to run with it.
Yeah, and again, it just feels like it came down to Revolta in this jungle role because Stormage was nowhere to be seen on the map. Revolta was everywhere, throwing out spears. He was solo killing Achu at one point. Like, there are so many positives to take away from this game if you were INTZ. I feel like Supermassive still have the exact same problems, however. They really don't know what to do when they're behind. They have one strategy, and the support Elise is not their flex pick that they really need to have on offer. I think Elise should have been the jungler in that game. They could have gone for like a Thresh in the support role.
Yeah, there were so many things wrong with that composition. We mentioned the Elise. She's so damn squishy. She's got nothing available. And when you fall behind, you stay behind. And Supermassive, they found that out the hard way. Last time, sure, Elise worked for them, but I think they're going to have to reevaluate their entire pick and ban phase going into these finals.
They definitely need to have a good think about it. But the biggest thing to me is that INTZ, they don't like to play team fighting compositions. They like to split push, they like to play soft engage and couple it with poke. So they got the ideal composition they want. Nidalee and Varus is actually perfect for them. Sivir complements that really well. Nautilus also. Like, they had all of the tools in the makings of an INTZ composition that is adapted to the IWCI, learnt from their losses, and built around their strengths.
I'm curious to see if this is going to be a trend. Banning the Bardo, banning the Poppy, leaving Dumbledoge with only the Elise left to carry him through that support. We've been singing songs of his victory, but looks like teams may have figured him out.
Well, it's an Elise, man. I don't know how many times I'm going to say this. I'm just not a big fan of the champion
I'm sure
pick.
he has more up his sleeve, though.
Absolutely. Like, he's a support player. Everyone's got the standard support champions. It's that he's choosing Elise for a particular reason, and I'm still not sure what that reason is, because all Elise provides is a cocoon. You throw the cocoon, if it hits, you've got damage to follow it up, but you scale off with your damage really quickly. Everyone's like, you know, I even said this. I was like, he's got percent-based damage on the Q in both forms. That sounds to me like he's got executes in his kit, and he should be doing a lot of damage. He's not doing a lot of damage. He's actually just too squishy and dies.
Alrighty, guys. After INTZ have secured themselves that 4th spot, we are going to go to a quick break, but stay tuned because we'll be back with much more League of Legends action.